Hey, welcome! Today, we're going to unlock a secret. The secret to cooking food that's not just amazing, but totally safe, every single time. We're moving past the guesswork and straight into delicious certainty.
All right, let's be honest for a second. How do you really know when your food's cooked? You know that chicken on the grill, the pork chop in the pan? Are you the person who cuts into it to check the color? Or maybe you poke it, looking for those clear juices? Come on, we've all been there. But here's the real question. Does that stuff actually work?
Well, I'm going to drop a little truth bomb on you, and this comes straight from the experts. You absolutely cannot tell if food is safely cooked just by looking at it. The color, the texture, it's all just a guess, and it tells you nothing about the invisible germs that can actually make you really, really sick.
So if we can't trust our eyes, what's left? What can we actually rely on? Well, the good news is there's one single, foolproof method. It's what the pros use, not just for safety, but for incredible taste too.
And here it is, your new secret weapon, the food thermometer. Seriously, this little gadget is about to become your best friend in the kitchen. It just completely removes all the guesswork from the equation. It's the only way to know for sure that your food has hit that magic temperature inside to be totally safe to eat.
Okay, so what are these magic numbers we're talking about? Let's dive right into the guide. This is the stuff you can literally start using in your kitchen tonight.
All right, first up, poultry. This covers pretty much everything chicken and turkey. We're talking a whole roasted bird, turkey burgers, chicken breasts, the whole shebang. The number you got to remember for this one is 165. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Write it down, memorize it, whatever you need to do. There are no exceptions here. That's the temp that guarantees any nasty bacteria, like salmonella, is totally gone.
Okay, moving on to ground meats. You know, the stuff you use for burgers, tacos, maybe some meatballs with ground pork or veal.
For ground meats, your target number is a little different, 160 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's a really good reason for this. See, when meat is ground up, any bacteria that was on the surface can get mixed all the way through. So you've got to cook it all the way to 160 to make sure it's safe.
Right, so what about the big stuff? Those beautiful whole cuts, like a nice steak, a big roast, or some thick pork chops. And this also includes fish with fins. Think salmon, cod, that kind of thing.
For all of those, the number you're shooting for is 145 degrees Fahrenheit. But wait, hitting that temperature isn't quite the end of the story.
This is super important. For those whole cuts, beef, pork, lamb, you have to let them rest for 3 minutes after you take them off the heat. Don't skip this. This little pause is where the magic happens. It finishes cooking and makes the meat so much juicier. And for fish, you do have a pretty good visual backup plan. The inside should be opaque, and it should flake apart easily with a fork.
And last but not least, leftovers. What about zapping last night's dinner or that casserole in the fridge? Yep, there's a safety rule for that too.
Your goal here is to get everything steaming hot, all the way to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Sound familiar? It should. It's the exact same temperature as poultry. That's what it takes to kill off any bacteria that might have decided to show up while it was sitting in the fridge.
So let's put it all together. Here's the complete picture. Think of this chart as your new kitchen cheat sheet. Seriously, you might want to grab a screenshot of this slide. It's everything we just talked about, all in one simple spot.
Okay, but let's talk about the fastest tool we've got, the microwave. It's not always as simple as just hitting start, right? Microwaves are notorious for cooking unevenly, creating those weird hot spots and cold spots.
And that is exactly why standing time is a thing. You know when the box says to let it stand for a minute? It's not just so you don't burn your mouth. It's actually a crucial safety step. It gives the heat from those super hot areas time to travel to the colder spots, making sure the whole dish gets cooked evenly and safely.
Something else to think about is your microwave's wattage, its power. If you've got a really powerful one, say over 800 watts, you'll probably want to use the minimum cooking time on the package. But if you have a less powerful one like 300 to 500 watts, you're going to need to use the maximum recommended time to make sure it actually gets hot enough.
But here's the bottom line. Even when you're using a microwave, the main rule doesn't change. You are still aiming for that magic number for leftovers, 165 degrees. And how do you know you've hit that temperature everywhere, even in the cold spots? You guessed it, you gotta check it with your thermometer.
Okay, so let's wrap this all up. This isn't about making cooking more complicated or adding another annoying step. Not at all. This is about giving you the power to walk into your kitchen and cook with total, absolute confidence.
When you get right down to it, it's just 3 simple steps. 1. Use a food thermometer. Every time. 2.
Know your target temperature and actually hit it. And 3, if you're cooking a whole cut of meat, let it rest for those 3 minutes. That's it. That's the whole secret.
Now that you have this knowledge, you can basically guarantee that every single meal you make is going to be delicious, perfectly cooked, and, most importantly, perfectly safe for you and everyone you're cooking for. So really, there's only one question left. What are you going to cook with confidence tonight?